they are facing, but also the damage, okay, the loss that they from this kind of risk, how serious this kind of risk it is, and also what strategy they are planning or what strategy they can have to avoid this kind of loss of the risk. All right. All right. I don't need this one. In chapter 9, the notes I give you, the paper I give you is about a capital company, closest company issue. Okay, so this topic is more focused on the close company, what they have, the challenge, the risk they have. But actually, this kind of a global logistics and the risk management, the concept there is applied for all the companies if they decide to have a global sourcing. So we will talk about that. And in the chapters, the second part is about the detailed cases of the company. But we are not going through the details, so I will just give you a brief concept for that. A lot of people want to work for the international company. Okay, no matter which country you are in, okay, you are in the United States, you still want to work for the international company. You are in Taiwan, you want to work for the international company. And it sounds so romantic, right? Because people think if I work for an international company, it means I have to travel around. Well, maybe some of you will have a lot of business trip, but trust me, most of business trip is not a pleasure. It's no fun at all. Okay. If you have too much fun, then that must be trouble for your company, not for you, okay, and maybe for your position. But anyway, the globalization issue is a trend. Okay? We will face a lot of international company. For example, this morning I wake up in Taipei and I run to the train station. I'm not sure should I buy breakfast there or not. So I decide to have breakfast there. So in the Songshan train station, I buy a burger from McDonald's, the coffee. It's an international company, right? But when I come back to Hualien here, I know today I will be quite busy, so I don't have time for lunch. That's why I carry with a fun time with me. Okay, I decide to buy another lunch for myself first. So I drop out there and buy a. So, well, the same thing for the breakfast and lunch. Okay, one from the international company, one from a very local stores. Okay, that's our modern life. Okay, it's very difficult to avoid some international brand shops. Okay, even the 7-Eleven actually is originally from Japan, and if you want to say the original is from United States, okay, the company is from United States and blossom in Japan, and then moved to Taipei about 30 years ago. Yeah, it's about 30 years ago. And come to Hualien about 20 years ago. Oh, that's 30 years ago. Taipei will be, alright, about 30 years ago. And Hualien maybe about 15 years ago. 1997. 20 years ago. Sorry, 20 years ago. Yeah. So anyway, you will see a lot of companies. They are trying to build up their international overseas branch, bridge there. That they will different type. However, they were facing the two issues. You want to globalization, but when you have a branch in or any kind of a branch in overseas, you want to have a localization in the area. Okay, so it means that you have to split yourself. Okay, one is the main part here, and the other one is something over there. Okay, but it's a remote control will become very difficult for the people, just as we even it's a kind of joke that if you have a remote relationship with your girlfriend or boyfriend, you will know how difficult to commute. Okay, even you know each other for a long time. Okay, but even we have a very modern technology, they can not only hear the voice but face to face. But you still feel it's not attached. The attachment is still remote. Okay, it's not close enough. So you can think about for the company, that will be more difficult. Okay, because people will tell you how challenge they are facing in their local branch. Okay, and most of the problem cannot solve by video conference. Okay, even you have a video conference there, and you are sitting here, you are facing to face, you are discuss. Even you can have a conference, a video conference to see the PowerPoints, to see all the documents as well. But emotionally, I mean, they are still don't feel you are with them there. Okay. They are thinking you are kind of an outsider. Okay? You are not really sit behind those peoples. Okay, not really in the same room. So with that kind of emotional issues, that the communication still have a distance. Okay, so you can imagine that kind of issues when you are going to business, that will be more difficult. Okay, to then trust. So that's one thing. But not only that, there's a lot of risk along with the kind of global logistic issue. Okay, so let's see some cases first, and we will take a few minutes break. So this is the issues. For example, okay, we are talking about pollution. Even Taiwan, we are talking about pollution nowadays. Okay, Hualien is a nice place. Okay, we are not really suffer from the pollution. So that's Hualien, Taiwan now is the only two areas in Taiwan still always with the clean air. So you are lucky. Okay, and in Taipei, sometimes you will have a very you will feel very severe pollution as well. Okay, especially all days because of the transportation, the road traffic, so many vehicles there, and even in the eastern areas, the western areas in Taiwan, in the mountain areas, they should have a cleaner airs, but nowadays they are not, because of the weather change. And in China, the situation is getting very serious. It's worse. Some of my friends, they moved back from China, even they have a high positions in their big company with really high pay. Okay, but these years I really have 2 to 3 friends, they moved back to Taiwan only because of the pollution. Okay, because they say I don't want to live in the areas that I not only close the window, but I have to seal the window with tape. Okay, not only just close the window and put our air conditioner on, you have to seal the windows. No way. Okay, I don't want my children living in the area. Okay, and so that's the pollution situation. One time I went to China, the Beijing World Business trip, and they arranged an afternoon for me to go out to visit some sightseeing areas. About, I remember that's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I went to a very beautiful areas in the lake, small shops, and I start to see a lot of people running. What's going on? This is sandstorms coming. Okay, everybody close the doors, and I have to move in the door, and just only for about 10 minutes, and the sandstorms go up, and everything is dirt there, and they have to stop me. Wow, it's really terrible. So that's the situation. Okay, and they will shut down tens of thousands of factories because the widespread of pollution breakdown. That's possible. Okay? It's very difficult to imagine how come it's possible, right? But when you are there, you will know that's real. That's real. Okay. So another thing is I think we just passed the November 11, right? The single celebration day. Okay, it's a fake day, right? Nobody knows what it is. Okay, only Ma Yun knows, right? He created the holiday, okay, the festival holiday for everybody. You have to admit it's smart. It's very, very smart, okay? I mean, so far, it's very difficult to create a holiday. Not only a holiday, but a very successful holiday. Okay? Of course, if you are king or you are a president, you can always name some days as a holiday, but nobody cares, right? And nobody knows. And this holiday now become a worldwide event. Everybody knows that. Everybody watch. Okay? And is there real value rate increase generated from the holiday? Do you think the holiday really generates revenue for the business? Yes. Well, how to know it really generated revenue for business or not? It's quite easy. You just look at the whole year's sales amount. Okay. Every year for the business sectors, if the revenue is increasing, you understand that? Because we know the economics will increase this way, right? If we imagine coming, okay? So it's, for example, for your business, year by year, they will always increasing or decreasing, right? Maybe we don't know. But if for example, this year's they launch the single holiday, okay? Then you can predict, we can predict by some data, and we maybe this way, and maybe this way, okay? But now, if we are different, the prediction is the actually sales amount annually, okay, different from the prediction. Then you can say maybe it's because the holiday. If you just look at the day, sales amount is not enough. Because some people won't buy anything before the holiday, right? We will keep saving money until the day and shop. But at the same time, you will see a huge amount of sales. But how about the revenue? The revenue is the quantity times the price, right? So when everybody knows people will come to shop at the same day, if you are a seller, what you can do? You want to attract more people to buy from your store, not from theirs. So you will compete with each other. Then the best And the easy way to compete is use the low price. Okay, use the low price. So sometimes the demand is too high, but the surprise will come in, right, during that. So it's an equilibrium situation. Okay. So really you have to see not only the quantity, the amount of their sales, but also the really revenue they sales, whether increasing or not. So then we can start to judge that is Alibaba really help the business, or they are not really help that much, just switch the periods, the time to buy. So, but anyway, every year people, this is the 2014, now it's the 2019. Okay, I leave some space for you to figure out what's going on today, this year. Every year we are seeing, wow, how come they can have such a huge amount of orders in one day? Then we are not only counting on one day, we are counting up, wow, how much, how come they can have a huge amount in 1 hour, in the first hour? Now we are looking at in first minute. And people, especially the logistic people, still start to worry and curious about how they deal with these orders, how they doing the logistics for that. Okay. So for example, I ordered in Taiwan, someone ordered in the United States. How they deliver goods in 3 days. It's impossible all goods from China, right? It must be local to distribute. Even in the local, with this huge amount of orders, they will still take a lot of time to make sure that you are having the right package to you, because every package is not only one item, maybe more than several items there. So that's the one we did a few days ago, a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, to the Taoyuan, or not Taoyuan, sorry, to the Keelung, right, the logistics center. So you will see how they are doing that one. But okay, let me address one more issue before we take a break. People not only look at the Alibaba's issues, not only for the logistics nowadays. Actually, we are looking at that for cloud computing. So this year, if you look at the newspaper, the first issue, you will feel surprised. The news did not say how many orders, how many revenues they have in the first few minutes. Okay. Not much news about that issue, because people have their eyes not only on the amount for the logistics issue, but considering, look at how come they can deal with so many orders in such short time. So they must have a very good cloud computing there. Okay. So it means that this company have a very strong computing power. Okay. And currently there's only 2 companies have such good computing power. One is Alibaba, one is Amazon. Okay. But the difference is Amazon's don't have such a peak demand. Right? Amazon always have a demand, right? They receive a lot of orders. Right? Maybe for Christmas Eve, Christmas season, or New Year season, they have a more order. For the school opening, they will have a more orders there. But not such as Alibaba. Alibaba has everything is so smooth. Of course, they still have some orders, but everybody wait for the November 11th. Right? So they have orders there, but they are dealing with this kind of people. But Amazon maybe is frustrating that way only. So it means that the computing power and the computing power data management ability, well, from my point of view, Alibaba is much better than Amazon, because Amazon don't have that experience to see how we deal with that kind of data in such short time. They don't have the experience. I don't mean they don't have the ability, but they definitely no experience for that situation. So if you consider that as a disruption, it means that Alibaba every year they will have this kind, and they can review the process and to see how to improve the one. But Amazon's, they never have this kind of a chance to test their extremely case. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's take a 10 minutes break.